Do you notice something big happening quietly in 2025? The factories that once formed the backbone of American industry are slowly moving north, and Canada is emerging as the new manufacturing hotspot. Rising labor costs, complex regulations, and slow approval processes in the United States are pushing companies to reconsider where they build, produce, and innovate. Canada, on the other hand, is offering tax breaks, government incentives, fast permitting, and a skilled workforce ready to take over. Is this just a short-term shift, or the beginning of a long-term change in North American manufacturing? In this video, we explore the 10 US states losing the most factories to Canada in 2025. Can you guess which state is being hit the hardest? Let's dive in. Number 10, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has long been a symbol of American industrial power. Cities like Pittsburgh, Allentown, and Erie thrived on factories producing precision machinery, robotics parts, and industrial equipment. But in 2025, many of these factories quietly closed only to reopen in Canada, mainly in Ontario and British Columbia. For example, a robotics parts company in Erie shut its doors in March and opened a new plant near Toronto just 2 months later. Why the move? Faster permitting, lower taxes, and government subsidies for green technology made Canada more attractive. The state isn't just losing factories, it's losing innovation hubs. Research and development for electric vehicles and AI hardware is shifting north. Towns like Scranton and Reading are already feeling the ripple effects. It's not just numbers on a report, it's families watching factories close, realizing the future they hoped to build in Pennsylvania is now being built elsewhere. According to the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association, about 7,000 manufacturing jobs vanished in the first half of 2025, with roughly a third moving directly to Canada. Number 9, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is famous for cheese, but manufacturing has always been its economic engine. Industrial machinery and automotive parts have fueled its economy for decades. In 2025, electric vehicle part suppliers began moving operations to Ontario and Quebec. A Milwaukee-based company producing electric drive modules relocated entirely to Windsor. The reasons are clear: lower electricity costs and Canadian clean energy incentives. Cities like Green Bay and Racine are seeing their supply chains shift northward. The Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development reported a 2% drop in manufacturing jobs in the first quarter of 2025, the largest decline in the Midwest. Local communities worry that Wisconsin could become a pass-through point where goods are made in Canada and only transit through US cities. The question is, will federal policy adapt in time to keep these industries at home, or will Wisconsin continue losing its industrial strength? Number 8, Illinois. Illinois, once considered the industrial heart of the Midwest, is quietly losing factories. In the first half of 2025, over 9,000 manufacturing jobs disappeared not overseas, but to Canada. A machinery manufacturer in Rockford relocated completely to Ontario. Even long-standing food processing companies are moving north. A 40-year-old frozen food brand from Peoria opened a new facility in Nova Scotia, creating hundreds of Canadian jobs while cutting Illinois employment. Illinois isn't just losing jobs, it's losing influence in North America's high-tech manufacturing sector. Towns built around family-run factories now see supply chains and innovation move across the border. Many experts believe federal intervention is needed to compete with Canada's strong industrial incentives. Number 7, California. California, the global technology hub, is quietly losing its manufacturing base. By early 2025, battery startups and aerospace suppliers began relocating operations to Canada. A San Jose electric vehicle battery company moved production to Quebec, citing lower energy costs and more relaxed environmental regulations. Aerospace suppliers in Orange County shifted to Alberta and Manitoba. Tech manufacturers in Fresno and Bakersfield also explored Canadian locations to access sustainable manufacturing incentives. California lost over 12,000 manufacturing jobs in the first half of 2025, mostly high-skill positions supporting entire communities. This loss created a domino effect. Local suppliers earn less, logistics companies shrink, and vocational schools see fewer students. California's technological advantage is slowly moving north. Number 6, Georgia. Georgia has been a rising manufacturing hub. Atlanta is a logistics center, Savannah manages exports, and suburban tech factories have grown rapidly. But in 2025, companies started relocating north, not just for cost, but for long-term strategic benefits. Over 8,000 jobs were lost, nearly half moving to Ontario and British Columbia. A major EV company cancelled a Savannah factory project and signed a deal in Canada instead. Logistics centers from Augusta to Atlanta report reduced shipping volumes. The ripple effects are severe, school budgets are shrinking, housing markets are cooling, and young people are leaving for better opportunities. Georgia's growth story is being rewritten under the influence of Canadian industrial incentives. Number 5. Ohio. Ohio, the heart of America's industrial heritage, is undergoing a quiet transformation. Steel, rubber, and auto parts, once the state's pride, are moving north. By June 2025, over 10,000 manufacturing jobs relocated to Ontario or Quebec. A Cleveland auto parts supplier moved production to Quebec due to clean energy incentives and government support. Plastics manufacturers in Akron partnered with Canadian firms to ensure long-term stability. Small towns like Lima and Mansfield are losing entire supply chains, affecting local diners, gas stations, and vocational schools. Canada isn't stealing jobs, it's competing strategically. Ohio risks losing its industrial identity. Number 4. New York. So, New York's manufacturing network, from electronics to processed foods and green technology, is quietly shrinking. Over 10,000 jobs disappeared in 2025, especially in places like Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. A solar panel manufacturer moved production from Albany to Ontario, taking advantage of Canadian research and development incentives and, easier access to European markets. Even traditional food brands relocated to Montreal, which meant cutting long-standing union jobs. Communities that were already struggling with retail decline now face factory closures. Economic stability and industrial growth are slowly shifting north, leaving New York to rethink its manufacturing future. Number 3. Texas. Texas has long been, a proud industrial powerhouse. Auto parts, electronics, and industrial machinery have really defined its economic landscape. But by 2025, factories are quietly moving north. In just 12 months, Texas lost over 9,200 manufacturing jobs. A Dallas robotics company, for example, relocated to Toronto for tax incentives, skilled labor, and market stability. Border cities like Laredo and El Paso saw export volumes drop as supply chains shifted north. Texas faces some big challenges: an unstable power grid, high insurance costs, and regulatory hurdles. Meanwhile, Canada offers a streamlined, stable manufacturing environment. Without adaptation, Texas risks losing its industrial identity. Number 2. Indiana. Indiana is a manufacturing powerhouse known for auto parts, heavy machinery, and electronics. By 2025, over 11,500 jobs moved to Canada. A major truck chassis supplier reduced production in Indiana by 70% while expanding in Windsor. Canadian subsidies, clean energy support, and infrastructure incentives just made the move irresistible. Small industrial towns now see empty factories, shuttered shops, and families seriously considering relocation. Indiana's once celebrated technical training system simply can't meet modern manufacturing demands. The state isn't losing talent, it's losing opportunities to better planned Canadian policies. Number 1. Michigan. Michigan, the birthplace of American automotive manufacturing, is honestly the hardest hit. Detroit and surrounding areas have long been global industrial icons, but by 2025, factories quietly closed, assembly lines stopped, and thousands of jobs disappeared. Over 15,000 auto and supporting industry jobs moved to Canada in just 18 months. Rising costs, complex regulations, and lack of EV transition support made Michigan less competitive. Ontario offered green transition programs, tax breaks, and low-interest loans for battery factories. Michigan isn't losing skill, it's losing opportunity. The state's industrial identity is quietly being rewritten north of the border. The story is pretty clear. American manufacturing isn't collapsing, but it is shifting. Canada's policies, incentives, and planning are winning the competition for factories and jobs. The question remains, will U.S. states adapt in time, or will the industrial map of North America look completely different in a decade? Thank you for being with us and watching the video. Be sure to like, comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell icon to get new video updates. Your support is honestly invaluable to us.